Congratulations! You've reached the final module of our course on strategic thinking. In this last lesson, we'll take a few minutes to review the major concepts covered and highlight the key takeaways that you can carry forward in your leadership journey. Whether you're already in a strategic role or preparing to step into one, this summary will help you solidify what you've learned and start connecting the dots. Our goal is to help you move from theory to consistent, confident action in your own context. We began by exploring what strategic thinking actually means. At its core, strategic thinking is the ability to see the big picture, anticipate future challenges, and make decisions that align with long-term goals. We contrasted this with strategic planning, which is more about execution. Strategic thinking is ongoing, adaptive, and often nonlinear. It's about asking why and what if, not just how. In Module 1, we introduced foundational ideas such as vision, mission, and goals. These form the basis for any strategy. We also defined key elements like objectives, advantage, and scope. By understanding and applying these building blocks, you begin to develop the mindset of a strategist rather than just a planner or executor. Next, we moved into analyzing the environment around you. In Module 2, we looked at tools like PESTLE and SWOT. PESTLE, standing for Political, Economic, Social, Technological, Environmental, and Legal, helps you scan the external factors that could impact your organization. SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, brings in internal reflection as well. Together, they help you understand where you stand now and where opportunities or risks might exist. We also covered Porter's 5 forces, a well-known framework for assessing the competitive landscape. This included analyzing supplier power, buyer power, competitive rivalry, potential new entrants, and the threat of substitutive products or services. Understanding these forces helps you adapt your strategy based on how attractive an industry really is. Then we discussed the evolution of strategic tools. As of 2024, organizations are incorporating more digital and AI-driven platforms. These tools can analyze large data sets and reveal patterns that might take humans much longer to detect. We encouraged you to explore these innovations while still thinking critically and not outsourcing strategy entirely to technology. Module 3 focused on the role of mindset and strategy. We unpacked how cognitive biases, like confirmation bias or overconfidence, can cloud our judgment. Real strategic thinkers must be aware of these mental traps, especially under pressure or in fast-moving scenarios. Being mindful of your thinking helps you avoid costly mistakes. We also introduced techniques to enhance critical thinking and structured problem-solving. Methods like root cause analysis or decision trees give structure to what might otherwise feel uncertain or overwhelming. In practical terms, whether you're addressing customer churn or launching a new product, these tools help organize chaotic information. Scenario planning and risk management gave you strategies to work through what-if situations. We talked about building flexible plans and surfacing assumptions early. This helps you and your team be more adaptive, especially during uncertainty. A useful analogy here is driving with fog lights, planning not for perfection, but for better visibility in unpredictable conditions. We then moved into taking action. Module 4 focused on actually developing and implementing strategy. You learned how to articulate a clear vision and mission, write strategic objectives, and evaluate the best course of action, whether your phase demands growth, consolidation, or withdrawal. The strategy brief exercise helped turn abstract thinking into something concrete and usable. We emphasized how critical communication and change management are in getting your strategy to actually stick. Even the best strategy fails if people don't understand it or resist it. We explored practical ways of bringing others along, such as using storytelling, involving key stakeholders early, and linking the strategy to what matters to employees. Module 5 rounded out the strategy lifecycle by looking at how to measure success. We reviewed key performance indicators, KPIs, the measurable signals that show progress toward your goals. We discussed how to choose relevant metrics that go beyond activity and really point to impact. For example, you don't just want to track website visits, you want to know if those visits turn into loyal customers. We also touched on continuous improvement and feedback loops. Strategic thinking isn't a single event, it's iterative. You act, learn, adjust, and act again. We encouraged you to create space for reflection, gather feedback from multiple sources, and stay willing to pivot when new information arises. More organizations are blending qualitative data, such as customer sentiment, with hard numbers to make better informed decisions. Emerging framework models are combining customer journey tracking with internal performance metrics. Keeping an eye on such changes helps future-proof your strategies. In Module 6, we brought it all together through application. We examined how leaders put strategic thinking into practice in real-world settings. The case study illustrated what happens when a leader steps back, connects the dots, and aligns people toward a shared vision. You saw how this thinking drives not only better performance, but greater resilience. We also shared practical tips to strengthen your strategic muscle. These included asking better questions, creating time for reflection, and surrounding yourself with people who challenge your ideas. Strategic thinking is a learnable skill, not an innate gift. With consistency and openness, anyone can develop it. So as we close this course, here's the big picture. Strategic thinking is about staying curious, informed, and future-focused. It helps leaders and managers make better decisions, not just for today, but for tomorrow. You're leaving this course with a toolkit, a mindset, and a process you can apply in many contexts.